What's up, my flooring people? Welcome to the Huddle. I'm coming to you every Tuesday at 3 o'clock p.m. Central. Sorry, I'm over here stuttering. But we bring you thoughts and ideas on how to maintain forward progress in your flooring career. With me, as always, Daniel and Jose Gonzalez from Rapids, Michigan, Preferred Flooring. Guys are, as usual, Daniel's in the office and Jose's out on the road. So it's proof of their dedication to the customer and somewhat of what we're talking about today about maintaining or building quality reputation in the flooring industry. And this really goes across any specialty contractor. But anyway, if you are joining us on any of the socials or on YouTube, please consider giving us some comments, some likes and subscribes. I appreciate everybody's comments on Facebook and views and everything. Preferred Flooring's Facebook page got blown up last week. It was pretty awesome. So we appreciate all the comments and questions. So that being said, today, what do you guys think? Is building a reputation important?
I don't think we'd be where we're at now without building a reputation.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't just apply to business, right? You got to think about the reputation you have as a student, as an employee, as an athlete. Like, every relationship is based off of a reputation or the promise of a good reputation. So.
Well, I love that you brought that up because it segues right into when you're an installer and when you, if you're regardless, but particularly remember as companies, as people, as installers, as whether you're a flooring contractor or a flooring company, but installers in particular, remember your online reputation and your reputation. So what you're on Facebook doing and all these things, remember that is your business. So getting on, Facebook and just got to be cognizant of what you put on social media. People will judge you from that. It may not even be a good depiction of who you are or what you're capable of doing or the person you are, but you really want to be very cognizant of the fact that what is going on these screens, people find later, and it may not shine a great light on you and harm your reputation. I've seen a lot of that in the installation community. And, if you come off on social as a complainer constantly, well, it's very possible that a potential partner in business is going to see that and judge you accordingly to that without knowing you really. So just a cautionary tale. I know it's happened. I know that when we hire people and even when we hire subcontractors or partner with subcontractors, we utilize Go Carrera to do that on the subs, but we check social media and all that too. We want to know what kind of people we're dealing with. And so keep that in mind when you're online. What about when you're dealing with your clients and you run across, let me actually pose it as a question. When you guys run across, complicated or difficult scenarios with a customer on a project, is reputation on the front of your mind, top of mind when you're dealing with them?
For me, the answer is not always. And it all depends on the scenario. My first priority is to make sure that I'm doing my best to solve a problem.
Well, that
if I can't solve anything,
no, I was just going to say that plays into your reputation, as I see you guys as problem solvers.
Yeah, and that's where I think that is my priority. the time. Is to make sure that I'm doing my best to solve problems and issues, or to be proactive in making sure that we're preventing any future issues. And that's it. And that does create, I guess, it does create that in a sense. But that's always the first. I never worry about like, oh, I hope that they think I'm professional. I hope that they think that we did a good job. It's just, I'm going to be professional and I'm going to do the best job I can. And if that is going to, in return, build a reputation, then that reputation is organic off of workmanship, off of pride, off of just everything that we put into it, that I put into it.
Well, that plays
Speaking with
in,
someone.
that's called authenticity. I mean, you get your reputation from being who
No,
you really are and doing it all the time. It's hard to maintain a phony reputation. It's pretty
no,
easy
it's
to
the
maintain
hardest.
a genuine reputation if you try.
Yes, yes, it's the hardest. I've seen people try it though. I've seen people do it. They're always somebody different in front of me than they are in front of their client. And
or other
speaking of
installers in
consistency,
general. There's someone that we just met for the first time, like what, 2 years ago, that said that they're the ones that taught us how to do flooring.
yeah,
Yeah, stuff like
that's
that.
laughable. That's laughable, but
You know, we have
it's, it's okay.
this concept at the company, at the flooring company, that is we kind of weigh, we call it the scales of justice, but there's three scales, and it's reputation, relationships, and money. And you can't give up. None of the scales can tip all the way down and just crash and burn. Um, you know, so sometimes you got to give up a little bit of money to maintain a relationship or your reputation as a business. Um, that's just, you know, we I preach that a lot, and so does our COO, that, hey guys, money's important. That's why we're all in this. But at the same time, it's part of the equation when you're trying to maintain a relationship with the client or maintain your reputation in the market.
Yeah, 100%. I actually just ran into this scenario with our buddy Bob that I like. He got put between a rock and a hard spot on a project and trying to chase money. And I just said, look, we'll figure it out. It'll come out in the wash one way or another. Let's just figure it out. So I changed the way we were going to bill it because we were fine financially with that. And then it ended up not being as much as he anticipated, right? Because I changed the format in which we were billing it. And then, you know, the next day he's like, you know what, just build the whole thing. Like, we'll just take care of it. And I was like, are you sure? Like, you need to make money too, dude. Like, I want to make sure that you guys are making money. Like, we'll figure it out. Like, we have a good working relationship. I know that over the next 12 months, 6 months, 18 months, we'll get it figured out and it'll all come back. I'm not worried about it. And he was like, no, let's just do it. All right.
You
As
know,
long as
that's
you're okay with it.
interesting. It's interesting. I've heard you say that, you and Daniel say stuff like that, where you've built that relationship with somebody and you got the reputation with them that you know, you'll treat them fair and it'll work out in the end, and that you want them to make money. That's the piece that I hear you. You care about your client, your customer, and making money as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's
If they're not
dude, it's a
making
team
money,
effort.
they're not in a position to hire us to make money, right? That's what business is
Right.
all about, is making money. So
And that's where partnerships come in, right? We're part of a team. This is a partnership. We're
Yeah,
dancing. We're dancing. Sometimes we take the lead, sometimes they take the lead, sometimes somebody that we don't know takes the lead and we just follow it. It's just a big dance. And as long as
yeah.
at the end of the shindig, we're all happy and we can all sit back and laugh about that journey and joke around, then we're winning. We've won.
So when does your reputation, I mean, it brings you work. I know that for a fact. So does it bring you the high quality work you guys desire? I mean, does it help in that manner as well?
Go ahead, Daniel.
I think your reputation, like I've been lately a couple, measures, and you go over there, and they're like automatically attracted to, like you were saying earlier, your online presence. I've seen that you guys have done this, and I've seen that you guys have done that, and you wouldn't be doing that kind of stuff if you didn't care about what you're doing. So that's why I'm calling you. It's not. It's them looking at your reputation, being like, I want them because I've seen what they have done already.
Yeah,
So
and
it's almost like not necessarily a gimme per se, but it definitely helps out when you don't have to work as hard to earn some business.
yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
it's rewarding to have people call you and want you to work to do their job. I mean, that's a good feeling when you're not just bidding it, have to be the low guy, and you're just one of many. It's nice when they call you and they really want you to do the project. That's a good feeling. That's
And
rewarding.
it
And
is. That's a huge compliment. That's a huge compliment for the effort and the time and the frustration that you put into your work. It's to be it's recognition is really what it is,
well, yeah, and
and
it's more.
everybody likes to be, yeah. It's it's hard. It's a feeling, right? It's a feeling of where the work and the effort and everything you just put into that for the last couple of years or last 10 years, whatever, has just been justified by in that one moment. Um,
Yeah, and
and
I think it's like it's rewarding, but it's also more enjoyable to work with those kind of clients for the most
uh,
part. I know we're in this for money, but it's also if I have to give up a little bit of money, and if I have the choice to say I can make more money but be miserable, or make a little less money and be and have some enjoyable work. Not every project is that way. You get in some
yeah,
barn burners. We're in a few right now. It's summer. We got schoolwork everywhere and craziness going. And when I first started talking to Daniel, I was like, "Hey man, what's going on here? What's up with you?" He's like, "I'm just busy." I mean,
Daniel is busy right now in the office. He's kicking out a lot of stuff. He's kicking out a lot of stuff in the
well, this
office.
is this is
Um,
PG-13. You can say shit.
oh, okay. But yeah, he's getting a lot of stuff done there. I'm actually in the field this week and trying to find balance. Just a little bit short staffed. Had a pattern match project come up, and I busted out the knee pads in the pouch and got to it. I don't mind it.
I know.
Definitely get sore, but I don't mind it.
Why'd you do that?
Why?
Yeah,
Because we have deadlines, and the clients are really counting on us to get this done in the amount of time that they have for the project. They moved everything out, that they scheduled. This was scheduled weeks ago, and just because my schedule changed doesn't mean that their schedule can change, right? Like their schedule is very important to them, which means it's very important to me. So sometimes when you get thrown a curveball, man, you just got to readjust, keep that weight back, and sit on it a little bit longer, and stick that bat out and hope for the best.
we're gonna have to change this podcast to the diamond.
That's just really it, man. I posted something on my social the other day about something similar to that, and it just in relation to life, going up to bat. You got to go up to bat, and you got to be willing to swing in order to get some results. And that's really what it is. Is hey, this is what it's going to take to make sure that we stay on schedule, on task, and that the client is happy, and we're not putting them in a bad spot
So when you care about the right
because
thing,
they have
sorry,
yeah. That's,
you're breaking up a little bit, so I jumped in when you broke up. Sorry, but uh, it sounds like to me when you care about the right things, you build a reputation around those things. So you're probably known for getting your work on time, getting work done on time for the most part. None of us are 100% on that. This is construction. But getting your work done on time, doing quality work, and being well educated on flooring systems. That's the reputation I see you guys have.
Well, not only that, and I tell
And
people
I
all the
would,
time because inevitably there's going to be an issue, right? So once that issue pops up, how do you go about resolving it? And we hear stories all the time about, we had this issue and this person just never called us back. It's not
Ghosted.
just like, we also deal with some salespeople where it's like as soon as the sale's done, they're hands off with it, and it's like it's all about how can you take something that doesn't go right and still communicate like you're trying to earn their business. Hey, sorry this happened. I'll be out there tomorrow, and shifting things around because that's what has to happen in order to keep people happy.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys, we probably buy from the reps that have the reputation of returning your call or answering your call,
yep.
right? I mean, our reps have a reputation, and we're going to use the ones that fit our business the best, which is timely response. They actually care about the problems we're going through as contractors and want to help us solve it. Those are reputation items for the sales reps that you probably want to deal with the ones who take care of you that way.
Right. And, some of the reps do come in here and they're like, hey, why don't you have this on the shelf? And it's like, this is the first time I've ever even met you.
Yeah.
Like,
we we just we just had that. We just had that happen, and we were honest, like literally just guys, we just threw all the books away because we weren't getting anywhere. Now there was a couple like issues that we didn't know about that weren't public, right? But at the same time, it's a new rep, and we've known her from another distributor, and we're just gonna build on that relationship. And she's been very spot on since coming into the office.
Well, that shows you. I mean, that's why reputation is not, I mean, this is a business concept. I say that a lot in this podcast because we talk concepts that are transcending flooring by far. Your reputation will impact your business almost as much as anything else. In my opinion, you can have aggressive, because why do you get better? Why are you able to be low and still make money, right? If you're bidding jobs. Well, we're able to do that because we can get we work really hard with our vendors, and the vendors we deal with like us. And that's because of the reputation that is it's not just the relationship. Those people have the reputation. We have the reputation of getting the work, so they know they have to give us good pricing or they lose the opportunity. And in this day and age of value engineering everything, I mean, a spec is not set in stone, but we have the reputation of not switching people out unless absolutely 100% necessary. I don't try to gain a competitive advantage that often. If somebody's worked really hard for a spec, and this is just the way we approach it, I know I'm not saying it's the only way, but if somebody else worked really hard for that spec, we don't just go in and switch them out as long as we feel like we're being taken care of. So that's all like your reputation of doing that. They feel comfortable going in hard with you on that job, on those projects. So
yeah,
You're
I mean,
absolutely right.
I just talked to a church earlier today where I mean, technically it's not signed yet, but they pretty much gave us a verbal that we're the one that's going to be doing the work. And that is 100% because the communication between us and our rep, and having that and knowing, because he was like, hey, this other company is asking for numbers now. Here's a price break. And that's all it takes.
yeah, I'll give you another example. So we're dealing with a project, nice size project, and there's a particular product. I'm not going to mention any of the products on in this short story, but there's a product on there that the people that I gotta dance around this a little bit because we're right in the middle of this, but there's some people, a specific product specified, and we have the contract for all the other flooring, and because that particular product we couldn't get pricing on, and then they verbalized a ridiculous price to us. We just excluded it. Well, we got awarded the contract for everything else, and they never got a price for that other flooring. So, long story short, this company sells, makes, and installs their product, and it's not a well-known company either. But at the end of the day, my contractor called me and said, "Hey, they need to contract under you. I don't want to deal with anybody else than you. Have them send you the bid, and then you fold it. I'll fold it into your contract." That's a relationship.
It is. It's making sure you're taken care of. That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Hey, I don't like this. I don't like the way this is going.
Yeah. So if you got a good reputation and relationship with people, if you got a good reputation, I mean, those types of things happen. That other company doesn't have a reputation around here anyway, and so he's like, "I don't know them. I know you, and I'd rather fold their contract under you." So anyway, those are just some examples. And I know that, you can get real nitty gritty on having a good reputation, but I would say doing the basics, being actually caring about the quality, like you guys have said many times on this podcast, caring about your clients' profit and that they make money, and caring about keeping yourself informed and educated and trained on the flooring systems that are out there. That reputation will get that. If you went, reputation is really important. That substack of reputation where you are the industry expert, and I look at you guys as the industry experts on many things, especially as it comes into resilient flooring. So you get that reputation, and business comes to you. And I would implore all installers. That's why we promote and evangelize training and education. One, that you become the expert and you will be sought after.
Yeah, and that's happened a lot. Like, thank you to all of our peers out there, right? Even when we were employees of other companies, they would say, "That's a Jose job," or "That's a Daniel job," or let's get the Gonzalez brothers on there. Or and after we started Preferred, a long time ago now, same thing is, "Hey, you guys, I got a project that came across my books, and I don't see anybody else being able to do it but you guys. Are you interested?" Of course we are. We're not interested because I don't want to say fluffed our feathers with that little bit, right? But we're interested because we know it's a challenging job. We don't veer from challenges like that. And we also want to make sure that it's right for you and your client. Even if it's not a direct sale for us, we still want to make sure it's right in the end. And we pride ourselves on being able to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
We ended up with a project that, and this was years ago, and I just love this project, right? Because the way it happened is, got a phone call and said, "Hey, I have a problem. I have nobody to do this install." And I said, "Well, send me a drawing." I was like, "Whoa, look at this. Look at all these shapes, and all this an exploding oval and LVT, and it was all hand cut. Nothing was cut at the factory, water jet or laser cut." And they said, we asked 3 other installers, and everybody said that it was impossible.
That was like a big carrot in front of you.
Dude, yeah, it was. You're absolutely right. It was. And they gave us the numbers, and me and Daniel looked at the numbers, and it was like, man, that's not even close to enough. And then I just told Daniel, I said, "You know what? I don't care. Let's just do it, right? It's impossible. Let's just do it." And we did it. We got it done. And one of the guys who said it couldn't be done is a good friend of ours. And he was just like, "I can't believe you guys got that done. How'd you do it?"
Right there is an
Share the
example of you
information.
giving up a little bit of money for reputation.
I just thought it'd make a great profile pic for preferred flooring. When it's not even,
Yeah, it's one of them.
um,
It's one of them feather in the cap projects.
you know what? I loved it. It looked great. I was happy about. I was excited about it when when I was done with the layout. I was excited about it when my sister was cutting it in. I was excited about it when Daniel was cutting it in. There was everything about it. It was just it was an exciting project to be a part of.
Yeah. What do you guys get? I'll give you an example. Do you get projects? Let me finish the question, then I'll give you an example. Do you get projects that match your reputation from a standpoint of your capability, whether size of project or like what you just stated, specific, difficult projects? Because, you know, there's guys that are known for being able to solve all these problems and do all this stuff, but then they're stuck in that world of only like doing the hardest work all the time. Um, Example, if I can make this come around and make some sense, but I got a we interviewed as a company this morning for it's probably a $1.4 million flooring job, big job. And we had to give examples of projects that we've done of that size. Well, we have a reputation in doing the large projects. We do the casinos, we do the new hospitals, we do the arenas, we do those jobs. And that's why they reached out to us in the first place. And now they just want you know, uh, references. Sorry, that was escaping me at the moment. They wanted some references, so we sent them references, and looks like it's just one other company that's interviewing for this job, and we feel pretty doggone
Confident.
confident we're going to get that project. We're excited and confident at the same time. So
So yeah, I think we've been on that before, where it's like, especially when we were labor only, where it's like we're getting these jobs because that's what we do. We do the hard stuff, and then sometimes it's like, hey guys, we do carpet tile too, right? Like, don't forget that we
Yeah,
also do carpet
yeah,
tile.
yeah,
yeah. That's those are real conversations. Like, hey, like we don't mind. Like we like doing it, right? It's helping us become better. And hindsight. Thank you for all of that, everybody. Thank you. Um, but we do like easy days too.
yeah.
We
We
like
also
no
do
brainer
new
days.
construction carpet tile jobs.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just like, and then you appreciate the I don't want to call them no brainer jobs, right? Because some people coast through them, some people don't. But the ones that are just super easy on the body, I would say, um, we do appreciate those ones as well.
Yeah,
And then at the same time, sometimes where we do get these jobs that are super easy, and it's like repetitive stuff, and it's like, man, I just wish I would have something that would challenge me, at some point.
Yeah,
I had an installer, one of our guys, he was on he doesn't like going out of town. He's one of our employee installers, doesn't like going out of town, although we have to have him go out of town occasionally. He doesn't like, um, he is an expert. I mean, he's really, really good. His name's Norby, and he is one of the best resilient installers I know. He you know, we put him on all this hard work all the time. But there was a project, and he also does tile. Um, but we put him on this really big 6x6 wall tile, all white, like huge gang bathrooms on the Air Force Base. After 3 weeks, and it was right here in town, he was like, "Hey, can you put me on something else for just a little while? I am going brain dead working on this thing. It's like stacking white wall tile for 8 hours a day, 5, 6 days a week, you put me on something that challenges me. I mean, he literally wanted
Yeah.
something that would give him some creative. I think that's wanting to, exercise that creative muscle that really good installers have.
You gotta
You're absolutely right.
use your brain sometimes, right? Because if you're not engaging it, you start losing stuff, and it's like
Yeah, he was talking about like
stacking that
I'm falling
tile
asleep.
is just not doing it.
Yeah, I'm falling
But I will
asleep
say
at 3
this.
o'clock because of it.
I will say this: if you like to go to work every day on a construction site and do the same carpet, like just use carpet tile. You want to do carpet tile every single day, the same stuff, and don't challenge yourself. That to me, in my mind, and this is just my opinion, guys, it's no different than working in a factory, right? Like you're not challenging yourself. You're not doing anything. You are doing the same repetition every day, but my ADHD doesn't allow me to do that. Like I need to be there, here. I need to do this. I need to do that. Oh, what's this new thing over there? Squirrel. That's how I like. I
Yeah.
just
Well, I think that's kind of the way really good installers are, dude. I mean, for the most part, you're going to get bored if you're doing carpet tile or even broadloom. Back in the day, we didn't have a ton of carpet tile when I was really installing daily. And you get on a big old high school with a level, double cut level loop or something, or even if it's trace
yep.
cut, even if it's just a row cut, there's no challenge whatsoever, no pattern match, 3 34-foot drops in a room, and you're just laying them out. Yeah, you're getting 500 600 yards down a day, but eventually you want something that's like, I just got off that job that had all those ovals and all that stuff on it, where you got some satisfaction out of after the installation. At the end of it, you stood back. It's one of my favorite things, even for my crews that I didn't, actually touch and install myself. It's like standing back and seeing what a finished product. That's one of the rewarding things that I love about flooring. So
And
I agree with you. You
you,
got to
you
challenge
you
yourself.
you said stand back, and I remember Daniel bringing uh what is it called, Daniel? Your little
The
drone.
drone.
I was drawing a blank. Drone to projects and flying them up there to get a bird's eye view of a lot of these uh, projects that we were doing on a large scale, and or trying to ask people, can we use your lift? Can we just need to get 30 feet up there so we can take a picture and appreciate everything that we're doing, right? Because it looks good on the print, but when you're on ground level, you don't see everything. Uh,
Yeah.
but you're right, man. Just the feeling of satisfaction when you're complete and proud
Yeah.
of it.
It's definitely different when you're on site than what a set of drawings show you,
Yeah,
which kind of
love it.
speaks to the talent of designers to be able to put stuff on paper that ends up looking so pretty when it's all, good designers. So shout out to the commercial designers out there. Well,
Yes, for sure.
this might be the first. We're actually, kind of coming up at the midway point. We're at the midway point of the podcast. Um, just wanted to talk about a few things coming up. We kind of discussed it beforehand, but here in the future, if you guys are watching this, if you'll comment whether or not you think this will be valuable, we're considering doing like a series on being a commercial contractor in the AIA pay applications, lien releases, certified payroll, that kind of stuff that goes into doing what we do. So if you're a residential company looking to get into commercial, we could, and you'd really be interested in that kind of data. It's really two different worlds from a billing standpoint and collecting money and all of that. And we'd like to put on a 3 or 4 part series about being a commercial material and labor supplier, like
Right.
a
Even
full
if they're
service.
not trying to come from residential and they're already commercial, it's a totally different world when you start, bidding and having to do all the billing and stuff yourself. Because like we talked about earlier before this started, it's like, what do you mean? I just invoice you? No, it has to be on a pay application, and then you know, you got to get it notarized, and it's a whole deal that if you don't know what you're doing, you can really mess yourself up.
Yeah, where you can just I've done that, like send in a invoice early on. They're like, this has to be on a pay application, G702 and G703. I'm like, what the hell is that? I just sent you an invoice. That's when I first got into business and started doing, I was commercial installer, but I didn't have any idea about, how you go about the actual procedures of getting paid with commercial projects, specifically when there's general contractors and architects involved. So we're considering, I'd love to do that. If it's valuable to the audience, comment somewhere.
So
We
yeah,
can,
Eduardo actually asked if he's still able to join via Zoom. So he should be getting the emails to be able to join via Zoom, because that would actually be really beneficial to actually have someone that kind of doesn't know what's going on. So that way, when we're talking about it, they can ask questions and stuff like that.
yeah, join us here. I mean, we
Yeah.
love having conversations. We've done it a lot. You can join the podcast and ask questions during it, and we answer them right during the podcast. So if that's a valuable one, we'll get it on the books, and we'll get you. Join us live. It's fun to have people on here. It's also great when we have guests, and we'll have some guests on that series. Actual general contractors come on and talk about their perspective of it,
Yeah.
stuff like that, But join us live. It's a hoot and it's fun, and we love the interaction. So
And it
come
gives
on,
us someone else to pick on.
what'd you say?
So to give us someone else to pick on. I mean,
Yeah.
gotta have fun.
Hey guys,
Got
well,
family here.
any closing thoughts on techniques on building reputation outside of
I'll
just
start.
doing the good work?
I would just say consistency. Just whatever you're consistent at is going to be a reflection of you and your business. Stay consistent, right? And if something's out of the ordinary, which is going to force you out of your comfort zone and out of that consistency that you're trying to create, don't be afraid to say, I can't, I don't know, I know a guy, or I'll find out. Because that will spin off and help you create that. And also, like, your reputation, you guys, like, your reputation is inadvertently creating your brand. Like, that is you. That's how people are going to remember you, how they're going to see you. And once you have a recognizable brand, that brand is going to be associated with your reputation right off the bat, and vice versa. I would say just understand that. Just consistent. Just be consistent.
Yeah, it sounds like what you consistently do is kind of ends up being your reputation.
Right.
Yeah.
And Rollins says right here, always being straightforward and honest. And yeah, that's us too, right? Because I'm never going to go into somewhere and try and sell them something that I know isn't going to work.
Yeah. Considering you guys have mentioned that multiple times about like how much you care about the client getting the right floor for the right condition and not just getting a sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about the sale.
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of.
it is, but it isn't, right? I would rather not sell
Yeah.
them something that I know is going to fail, though. And that's part of our reputation, is knowing that if they call us, we're not going to just sell them anything, throw it in, and then be like, oh, that's what you wanted, so that's what I put in. It's like, take a step back. Hey, these are the options, because if we go with this product, this is the potential that can happen.
Yeah, so I just got through hoorah on the designers, but have you ever ticked a designer off because you called that out? Like something spec on a job and you're like, it's not going to work in that condition. And
Yeah, I want to say no. I want to say no. The fact of the matter is that early on, I was a little too blunt, right? I was a little too honest. There was zero thought process behind my thought and my verbalization of my thought.
No
There was
filter.
no pause. There was someone took my filter and poked holes in it, and it just ran through. And I was young. I will say that I was young, and I was trying to build. I don't want to say a reputation, right? But I was trying to. I was trying to build a reputation, right? I wanted to be the guy that someone called when they needed. They needed it done right. I wanted to make sure that I was that guy. When they needed someone to be honest, I wanted to be that guy. And man, was I going about it the wrong way. And I may have come off, may have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way in the beginning, but later on, their misunderstanding of what I was trying to do and my misunderstanding of how to approach that turned into great relationships. And they do call and say, "Hey, what do you think about this? Or what about that? I have this is failing here. Do you know why? Well, why did you install it there knowing that this about the product?" Well, you know what? Nobody told me that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Those
I would have
stories
said it right
though,
away. But
there's plenty of
yeah,
instances.
that's it. Sorry guys, I was going to go around.
So sorry about that. There's plenty of instances where the wrong product got put in the area because somebody wanted to make a sale. And frankly, I see that on the Facebook groups where installers will drag talk about that with the salespeople just selling stuff that has no right being installed in this area. And I feel for those guys because at the end of the day, it's like it's your stuff you're putting in. And I see this more in residential than commercial, where it's like the wrong product the wrong product application, and you can't say nothing about it or something. Like the installer
Yeah,
can't go to the homeowner and say it when the shop sold it. They won't work for that shop no more. So I feel for those guys, but maybe talk to the shop. I know
That's what it
that can go
is,
a lot.
right? It's going back to communication. Communication's a huge part of everything. Because even Jorge right here, he says designers are cool with his decisions most time, but he always gives the option, and that's what you got to do. It's like this is you don't go to the homeowner and say, "Hey, we shouldn't do this." You go to the designer or the salesperson and say, "Hey guys, this is probably not the best idea," and always present that solution. This is what I would do, and this is why. Because a lot of the times they're in that position where they don't know because they've never they're not in the field. They don't know the applications, right? So it's
Yeah.
also educating them so that way in the future maybe they don't make that same choice. Sometimes salespeople
You're
don't
you
always
hear.
don't know
gonna
what you don't know.
and you're always gonna have the guys that just go for the sell, but hopefully good quality salesmen will learn the lessons that they've, from the dings when they put the wrong product in. And man, if you're a salesman listening to this, please listen to your installers. If they're a good installer, listen to them. Installers are us right here on this call. We install. We still do sometimes,
Yeah.
and we know what we're
Hey, good
talking.
brother day too.
So open your ears and help the installer out. Eduardo, he joined us, had his hand raised. What's up, Eduardo?
So I don't know if you guys can hear me, but
We can
you
hear
We
guys were
you.
talking
can.
about great communication. And the other day I heard this somewhere, but it's the hard conversations. Like I sat down with the boss or the president of our company and I told him like, it's my job to sometimes point out what's wrong and I might piss you off, but that's my job. Like, and he said he appreciated it because we all hold each other accountable and little by little, these hard conversations are getting a lot easier. But I know we're gonna get make each other mad, so that's it.
It's always the hard
You,
conversations are the ones that need to be had the most though.
Yes.
it is, and sometimes when you gotta approach an owner or someone like that who's very much involved, they just might not know because no one else wants to bring it to their attention. And the same thing with the salesperson, right? Like salesperson's got a lot of installers working for them, and nobody says anything. They just do it because they're afraid of losing the potential chance of doing more installs for that person, right? We're not trying to undermine anyone. We just want it to be the most successful install for not only the client, but the salesperson too. And I think, a little plug for CFI here, but I think that, and also FCICA, but I think they're onto it when there's education classes for our sales teams, so that way they can get a little bit of a hands-on experience and they can understand some of what the installers got to face, right? But that's the
Well,
other thing too, is maybe this
Protect All last week, that guy he was talking about, they have
Jeff.
their team more geared towards salespeople too to help out.
You kept on calling Jerry Jeff.
I twice, guys. Come on.
It was
I know
more
you.
hilarious the second time.
You guys, hey, the audience doesn't get to see all the shrapnel I take from that in the text messages later. But thank you, Jose, for the reminder. I was like, I know.
I'm so sorry, dude. I like to laugh, man, and I just find that stuff
The
funny.
beauty of it is, it's just like my slip up when I was Rick James in it. It just happens, and it's the beauty of doing live podcasts. Like it happens.
I believe somebody
We're
sent
here
you
to be
a
vulnerable and be who we are. So,
yeah, but to get back to the CFI and the hands-on sales teams, don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, ask your installers, hey, how are the jobs going? Can I do anything different? Is there anything that I need to work on to be better for you, to make it easier for you? Because I tell you what, I don't like working for the people who make it hard every time, where I got to go back and babysit their job. I'll be honest, man. Like we were bumping heads and bumping heads. Pretty soon, I'm going to start charging someone for it, or I'm going to have a sit down with their boss and say, "Listen, I'm doing your guy's job, and I don't appreciate it. I don't get paid for it." Start sharing those margins, or make some corrections.
yeah. To that point, I think installers love it when you go up to them, and I know ours do, when you go up to them, like if it's a newer product, even if it's just a different LVT, a different manufacturer, and you go, hey man, how was that LVT delay? Was it nice and square, or was it, they want to tell you whether it was good or shit. And you want to know that as the salesperson. You want to know, was it good? The new product, maybe it was really tough to install. Good installers don't gripe around about stuff. They just get it figured out and get it done. But ask those questions. That's a good point. Ask them, how was that product to install? That if you're a retailer and you brought in a new type of SBC or something, a new laminate or a new floating LVT, ask your installer how'd that go together for you? You'd be surprised what you'll find out, and you can learn some stuff. So
right. Kevin says it would be nice if salespeople in the industry had some type of installation background or training. And I'll go back to Protect All and Jerry, because every time I see one of their trainings, there's a salesperson in there doing everything that the installers are doing just to see what it's like. Because when some of these people are bidding stuff, they don't know, right? They just think that everything goes in the same, and they don't understand that there's so much, technique and stuff behind some of these products that it's not all the same.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Closing thoughts. I will say that remember that your online reputation plays into your actual reputation, and just be cognizant of that and what you post online and how you interact with other individuals, whether it's in Facebook groups or on your live feed or whatever. I mean, people read stuff, and so just be careful there. Remember that you are, like Jose said earlier, you end up being your company's brand in a lot of ways, especially as the owner. But even as a lead installer for a company, if your reputation is counteracted to the company's brand, you can get in trouble a little bit there. And if you're an employee installer, there could be some issues. Like, really care about your personal reputation, and it kind of shines through to your business reputation. And that's what I wanted to like really plug on, is the amount of satisfaction, and just make it's more enjoyable, and you make better money if you got a good reputation and people are reaching out to you because of that.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone sees. Well, you can make stuff private and stuff, but still, there's people out there that'll screenshot and share everything. So always be aware of what you're putting on online, because once you post it, it's there forever.
Yep.
The life
All
of
right,
social
Dylan. Hey,
media.
Eduardo, do you got
Of course
anything
it is.
to close up with us, dude?
Yeah, I mean, when you're posting online, try not to make up a character. Just be yourself, because when people run into you and you're not that person that you say you are online, it kind of throws them off. Because I've ran into some people that I follow on the internet, and I don't know who they are.
You can
Same
go ahead and
person
call
that
me
I
out,
follow.
bro. You could call me out.
No,
You
no,
can
you
call
guys
me
are
out. I
exactly
understand.
how you act. You guys are pretty genuine, so that's what matters.
You
That's
Yeah,
are
it.
as
me
well,
too.
brother. We appreciate you.
All right, guys. Well, Eduardo, thanks for hopping on. Jose and Daniel, thank you so much. And we will chat with you guys a little bit later.
Sounds good.
All
All right,
right,
See
brother.
ya.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys
Thanks.
for having me. Bye.
Yeah, no
All right.
problem, bro. Thanks for
Recording
coming on.
stopped.